Hey friends, it's Tracy. Welcome to today's video. It is jam-packed with some back to school and teacher appreciation or teacher inspiration. Now guys, I love to share crafty ideas with a bit of rustic country charm. I am so glad that you're here, and without further ado, let's get started. Friends, when I first saw this cute, adorable school bus that my friend Nicole over at Frayed did, I knew that I had to order the kit that she was offering. I will have a link to that in the description box, and it will be available as long as she has the kits available. I also ordered some of her specialized chalk paint, and so this color that I'm using is Sunflower. I gave the school bus a coat of that, and it covers very well. I was very happy with that. So what I did also is order some Midnight, which is the black, and I just gave the wheels a coat of that. I also hand drew the bumpers out just with my paintbrush, and also used that Midnight black paint for those as well. Now in the kit, it also comes with the extra piece for the stop sign. So I just pulled out my primary red. Now this is an Americana color that I am using, and I just gave it a coat of that. For the cute polka dots, I was inspired by the exact way that Nicole painted up her school bus, and so I used a 1 4 inch spouncer brush. It's a sponge brush that you can get at the craft store, and I made my polka dots. Now the white that I'm using is it's called Cotton, and that is the chalk paint from Frayed as well. And so what I did is I just to make my polka dots, I get some paint, and then I just put my little spouncer brush in there, and then when I put it onto my wood, then I kind of twist or turn my brush just a tad, and that gives the perfect polka dot. Then I'll go back and just kind of fill in any that did not get enough paint. I'll also do the sides so that, when you look at it from the side, that looks complete. And then I will move on, and any little mess ups that happen, with the paint, I'll go back and just do that with the Sunflower yellow paint for the school bus. Then I will just add all of my little finishing touches, which I like to do for my painted projects. I'll just kind of tell you, if you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm so glad that you are here. And I do get lots of requests for more painted projects. So I'll just kind of put it to music, kind of put it on the screen of what I'm doing so that you can enjoy it like that. I'll just go ahead and shade and add just a lot of the painted touches, and as I say, the beauty is in the details. I hope that you're enjoying seeing me, how I painted up this cute little whimsical school bus. Now, for the headlight, I didn't get it on film for some reason, but I just painted it orange. And then now what I'm doing is I'm taking my acrylic paint markers. I will have these linked in the description box below for those that are going to be interested in it. They are paint pens. They are permanent, and I love them so much. These are the more bullet tip, little thicker. And so what I'm doing is just continuing to add all of the little doodles and all of the lines and stuff that are usually on the school bus. I'll thicken them up as I, feel that they need to be. And what I'm going to do is just doodle up and just add all those little whimsical touches that we like on our projects. As I say, guys, the beauty is in the details, and that is just really what brings out your painted projects. So I'll just continue to add the white doodles and highlights that I like for my painted projects. Now, if this is not your style, you change it up the way that you like it. And my purpose here is to inspire you and to, just give you different ideas, just as I was inspired by when I watched Nicole paint up her school bus. I'm like, oh my goodness, I was so inspired. I wanted to do it exactly the way that she did it. And so I changed it up just a little bit, to my liking. And that's what creating is all about. We have inspiration all around us. We get inspired by our friends, by things we see online, and then we put our little spin on it. All right, so then here for the little stop sign, what I'm using is my Gator sanding sponge just to expose a little bit of that wood that is listed in my Amazon shop. I'll have a link in the description box below as well. Then I do like to add my paint splatters. I'll do black first, then I'll go back and add the white to it. And I absolutely love the way that this little school bus turned out. So I'm not quite sure exactly what I'm going to do with the school bus, but it does come with this back to school where you can trace out the letters. You can use graphite paper or do the pencil technique on the back and paint that up if you would like. I will put a link to Nicole's video because she shows exactly how she painted up her cute school bus and did the hand lettering. And since I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, use it as a wreath attachment or use it as a door hanger, I wanted to give you the option that you can see how to paint that back to school wording on the school bus. And I am all about community over competition, and I'm so glad to support Nicole's small business. These little cutting boards are so popular, and just by finding different designs, different wording, you can make cute gifts for someone special. All right, so because teachers can't live by apples alone, I found this in Cricut Design Space. Now, this is an SVG that is already created like this. If you don't have access to this particular one, you can check Etsy, or there are different other types of places that offer SVGs, or you can design your own in Canva. All right, so I cut it out on white smart vinyl on my Cricut Explorer 3, and then I'm going to get ready to weed it. Now, what helps me when I weed, I absolutely hate this task, and so I hate weeding vinyl. And I just use my Bright Pad, which is a Cricut Bright Pad. You can get it from Cricut, or I found mine several years ago at Joann's. They had them on sale, and so I ended up getting me one of them. And it has been a lifesaver when I'm weeding vinyl. It lights up, and so then I can see the cut marks a little bit better. So I just, take my time, weed the vinyl. This is my least favorite task with this, but the end result is just so beautiful. So once I get all of that weeded, then it's time to work on my board. Now, I got this board from Hobby Lobby during their spring sale. I think I got these at 75% off, but if you're lucky now, you can find them for even more percent off. Anyway, so I have some transfer tape. I get mine on Amazon. It is listed in my Amazon shop, and I just use my spatula to help burnish everything down where it sticks really well. And then once I get it transferred onto the tape, then I center it onto my cutting board, and then I carefully put it on there, just taking my time. And then I use my spatula just to kind of burnish everything so that it all is, adheres to the board. Now, these book stacks are nothing new. All you have to do is look on Pinterest and you will get some great inspiration. So I thought that I would try my hand at one for the school or for a special teacher. All right, so I'm starting with one of these book stacks. Now, this is one from the fall season. It's actually just a box that they have kind of painted like books. So I'm just going to follow those lines. And I didn't do very good. My paint kept getting on like where the pages would be, but that's all right. I'm going to go back and kind of clean that up. So I'm just using some black paint just to give it one or some, I think I did 2 coats of black paint. Then I'm going to go back and just add some lines like where the pages would be, and I am using cashew chalk paint to do that with one small liner brush. I was kind of having a problem of finding the right brush to kind of get in between there. And so then I just found one that I liked. And then I said, oh, well, I'll just clean up any that I, kind of get on the black part. And that's what's good about when you paint like this. You could just clean up. As I say, guys, it's just paint. Just clean it up or, start over, that kind of thing. Anyway, so that's what I did, is paint it black. And then for the pages, I used cashew chalk paint. I had this school scrapbook paper on hand, and I just kind of burnished it, kind of formed it around the books, and then I cut it out so that it would fit on the top. And that's what I'm going to be adding to the top to give it a little bit of interest. And then also I took my vintage photo distress ink and just went around the edges just to give it a little bit of distress so that it wouldn't be so white around the edges. For the hand lettering, I am just using my Posca paint marker. This is the larger one. This is a 5M in ivory. And so I'm just hand lettering teach, love, and inspire. Put my little happy dots on there as well. Now, these markers can be, gotten off of Amazon, or I think I've seen them at Hobby Lobby. So just to kind of help support my hand a bit, I have another book stack that I just am using just for support as I hand letter, and put my little happy dots on there. Now, I got my end dot too close to the top of the eye, so I go back later and add just a little bit of black paint to it just to give it a little bit of separation. So what you will see in this is I had taken a paint marker, then I went back later and took my little detailing brush and put a black dot in each of the happy dots like I like to do, but after I made my bow and was looking at it, I was like, I really do not like that. So after I made my bow, after I made my topper, I went back with the ivory paint pen and just covered up all of that black, and I like that much better. All right, so then I wanted to give it a little bit of shimmer, and so I'm just using my adhesive spray and just some fine sparkling glitter this is a Martha Stewart brand, and just kind of sprayed and sprinkled some of that glitter on there. Now, to attach the scrapbook paper to the top, I'm just using Mod Podge and just a brush to Mod Podge that on. And then I'm going to go ahead and make my topper. I have just some different burlaps and that kind of thing. Also, I'm going to add some lamb's ear that I got from Walmart, and just add a little bit of that and just make a cute bow topper for the top of my book stack. For this cute little project, I am using one of those wood boxes from the Dollar Tree and some primary red acrylic paint. So I give it 2 coats of that, let that dry. Then I'm going to do the shading around both sides with my black paint. And my favorite way to shade is use my flat paintbrush, dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in clean water. I blend on a paper towel. Then I'm going to go around the edges just to give it some shading. I will also add some doodling with my little liner brush that I like to use, just some squiggles, and just kind of make it look really whimsy and really cute. This project is going to be so great because I used it for a gift holder, for a teacher gift for my little grandson. And it is just a little box that the teacher can, receive as a gift. It had a gift card in it. And then once, they use it, then they can use it for a pencil holder, or they can use it as, something on their desk to, remind them of the student. And so don't forget to write their name on the bottom so that the teacher will not forget who gave them this beautiful little gift. All right, so then once I get all of my little squiggles and that kind of thing on, I'll do some paint splatters with black paint. Then I'll go back and do white. Now for the stems of my apples, what I'm using is 2 Jingle blocks or tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. These are a little bit smaller, and I go ahead and give those a coat of brown paint. I paint the leaf green, holly green, I think is the color that I used. And then what I'm going to do also is add some faux ivy, some faux greenery. And then I'm going to kind of, because I love the country look, I added some Excelsior to the ivy, before I put the bow down. And so for the small bows, this ribbon came from Hobby Lobby. It's grosgrain ribbon, so it does have a tendency to fray on the edges. So when I cut it, I go ahead and use my lighter to singe the edges so that it does not fray any longer or anymore. And so then once I finish all of that, so here I'm just showing you really quick how I made the actual card to put inside the wood apple. This is just little 4x6 cards that I get in a pack from Hobby Lobby. You can get different styles and that, or patterns and that kind of thing. And so I just cut it and then just use my little adhesive to make a small pocket. Then I just wrote, "It's so nice to meet you. Looking forward to a great year." Then have the child sign it. And like I said, this makes a great gift for anyone. But since this is Apple themed, this is a great way to break the ice for a student on Meet the Teacher Night or any time throughout the year. Here is a cute school or teacher project, just painting a clipboard. You can get these from Dollar Tree, Walmart, that type of thing. Now I had done the crackle technique on this. That was when I was using the crackle medium and was getting really good results. Since then, I'm not getting these good cracks like this. Maybe with Elmer's glue or Mod Podge, you can get better cracks. And so I'm just going to paint an apple using Santa red, and then the leaves I will use holly green. So I'll just paint this up and do some shading and doodling, squiggles, all of that stuff. I will also use a flat paintbrush and show you how I make my checkerboard to go around the edges of this board to make it really country cute.